Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and welcome to episode 1 of Let's Play Metro Last Light. Some of you might have been waiting a while for this, but here it is. I'm sure you all know I'm a pretty big fan of the original Metro 2033, both the novel and the game, so obviously I had to definitely play this when it came out, and I really enjoyed this game. I'd say even maybe a little bit more than the original. Now, for those of you who didn't see my Metro 2033 LP, I'll just let you know right here off the bat that this isn't really going to be a typical quick game playthrough. I am going to take my time to kind of show off as much of the game as possible, though not necessarily a 100% run. I might forget some things. I don't have a photographic memory for this sort of thing. But I'm definitely going to stop and, listen to some conversations and kind of see as much as we can. So if you're not looking for a slow playthrough, this probably isn't for you. Some of you might be familiar with the controversy around this game before it came out. Some people thought it was never going to come out because of the death of THQ, who was the original publisher for Metro. However, because it was so close to release, they just pretty much sold it to Deep Silver and released a little bit later, but not too much of a major delay. There was another controversy, as we'll see here when we start it up, with Ranger Mode. Basically, Ranger Mode was supposed to be in the game from the get-go, unlike Metro 2033, where it was a DLC added afterwards. It's sort of the, more Metro-themed, difficult survival mode kind of thing, where there's no HUD and, both you and enemies die easier. It's sort of the realism mode, and it's the kind of mode that a lot of people who like Metro are fond of. This was supposed to be in the game originally, and then it was made into a pre-order only bonus, / a $5 DLC, which pissed a lot of people off. But the developer, Deep Silver, 4A, basically said that their deal with THQ forced them to cut something from the game as pre-order bonus, so they said they'd rather cut a difficulty than, cut out a level or anything like that. But I pre-ordered it, so it doesn't really affect me directly. Now, we're going to go with original mode, though, because Ranger Mode doesn't really cater to a, kind of fully featured playthrough, unless you want to see me sneaking around a lot. There's already enough stealth in this game as it is. And we're going to play on normal, again, for the purposes of showing things off. So let's get into this. There's not really going to be a lot of gameplay in this first episode because there's a lot of story build-up at the beginning.
All started. I always tell that it all began that day when we went to botanical gardens. We, meaning yours truly, and 2 of my friends. Whose idea was it to visit the abandoned station? Who persuaded the others to go? I always tell them that I don't remember. I always lie. It is a safe lie. Or there is no way to ascertain the truth. Both Vitaly and Eugene are dead now. The massive airlock doors shrugged and opened with a grinding sound, opening a road to hell for us and a road into the metro for the demons. But in fact, it all started that day when Mother said we should take a walk in the botanical gardens and go there by metro. I remember how we took a short escalator to the surface, how we exited a spacious glass pavilion and saw a street buried in green. I remember the smoke clouds moving across the limitless sky and soft, cool wind on my face. Mother bought me an ice cream. That was the last time I tasted it. That day, humanity was executed. The righteous and the sinful were called to be rendered according to their deeds. And we hid from God's sight in the metro. And we were saved from his wrath. And he apparently decided that flushing us out wasn't worth the trouble. Then he went about his business, or perhaps died, while we stayed on this used up and discarded earth and continued just going with it, going nowhere. I remember so many random, unnecessary things, yet I don't remember the most important one. My mother's face, She died very soon after the war started. All that remains of her is that day in the gardens. How I wished I could recall her face. The way she looked at me. The way she whispered that I have nothing to fear. I'd sell my soul just to recall that. I'd do that any day, any time. And I did. The Dark Ones came much later, from the garden's direction. The Dark Ones, huge, towering a full head over the highest man. Nightmarish creatures, creepy as a man turned inside out. Monsters born to destroy us. The word was they were incredibly strong and unnaturally evil. That with bare paws they could tear armed men apart. That's all lies. Truth is even scarier.
Well, I used to live nearby. Before the war, I mean, up there. I was on the train when it happened. I tried calling my family, but couldn't get through. What the? What happened? Shit! 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 What's going on here?
Artyom, wake up, Artyom. It's me, God. Nightmares, eh? No wonder, after all you've been through. Listen, I have incredible news. A couple of days ago, I was near the ruins of the Dark One's hive, and I saw one of them, still alive. I immediately set out to find you, as you were the one they tried to contact, before you launched the missile strike against them.
Khan, how the hell did you get here? Get out, now!
Yes, Ullman, one moment. If a Dark One has survived, it is vital that you try to speak with it, Artyom. I realize that, as one of the Order now, you report to Miller. But we must persuade him to allow this mission.
Khan, I told you to get out! This is a classified base. You shouldn't even be here. I'll take you to Colonel Miller. Follow me, Artyom.
Get ready, Artyom. I'll be waiting at the exit.
Move it, you windbag.
I knew a smoker once. During the last year of his life, he had to eat, drink, and breathe through a tiny hole in his throat.
So I'm going to assume that everyone is familiar with Metro 2033 or isn't too bothered by spoilers, because this is a direct sequel taking place about a year after the events of Metro 2033. Also, the canonical ending of the first game, because there are two endings, is actually the sort of bad ending that matches up with the ending of the novel, where Artyom launches missiles against the Dark Ones and doesn't realize they're not actually trying to wipe out humanity until the missiles hit them. it's interesting that they included that first intro cutscene with Artyom as a child, because that was sort of a major part of the Metro 2033 novel that never gets mentioned in the first game. But it's kind of neat that they brought it back here because it is relevant. And as you can see from that sort of flash there when we played the guitar, the game still uses the moral point system to determine your ending. Basically, not necessarily good actions, but just exploring and interacting with the world will gain you moral points, and if you have enough of them by the end of the game, you'll get the good ending. However, you lose moral points from doing certain bad things and also killing human enemies.
We found this place a while ago, but I still can't get used to it.
Strange place, this D6. I didn't know they ever built bunkers this large.
The story is construction. Привет, Artyom! Artyom was one of the men who found D6. They gave him a ranger's badge on the spot.
Yeah, it's nice for him. I had to spend 2 years as a cadet before they accepted me into the order.
Well, anyway, where were we?
And did D6 save them? No. They couldn't reach it in time. And here, it stood for 30 years until our guys stumbled on it. Everything inside was untouched. Weapons, medicine. Like finding buried treasure, eh?
I suppose it's nice down here since they got the reactor working. The lights, the heat. But still, it doesn't feel right. Like, it's too damn good, you know?
Quit whining. It's a gift from your ancestors. Enough to survive down here for decades. Maybe until the world up there will take us back.
So as you can see, Artyom has become a member of the Rangers, who helped him destroy the Dark Ones at the end of the first game. And the Rangers have now taken over D6, the big, huge military bunker that was in pretty bad shape when we found it in the first game, including the giant amoeba monster attached to the reactor, which I guess they must have killed by now, considering
This is a
everything's
secret
working.
base, boy. You shouldn't be hanging about.
They can keep trimming in the metros. For me, it still feels like every patrol outside could be.
Come on,
last.
you have 5 more sets of 30.
Did you hear what happened to Romanov's group?
Doing good. Carry on.
Look at those two rookies. Pathetic. No wonder the Colonel ordered training done double.
So his squad is
Keep your
sent
back
through the
straight.
marshes to the church base. And Romanov's the only one who makes it there alive.
You're shitting me. The rest of the group wiped out?
The marshes are easy. You just look for the markers and flags and walk along them so you don't drown. A child could do it. Well, okay, the shrimps always gave you hell. But come on, what could take a whole squad down?
No idea. They found Romanov's alone at the church, sitting on the floor praying. Since then, he doesn't eat, doesn't react to people. He just speaks to God.
Hope Romanov's not expecting an answer.
Of course, not every conversation will give you a moral point for listening to it, but if you're going for the good ending, it's best to listen to all of them.
Hello, Artyom. Welcome to the armory. I hear you're a ranger now, huh? We must get a drink sometime to celebrate. For now, let's get you equipped. So, first things first. You're going to need a gas mask. You can't make a step on the surface without a gas mask. It's been 20 years and the radiation's still strong enough in some places to boil water. There are hot spots down here in the metro, too. Don't forget filters for the mask. Sure, it looks cool enough even without these, but they definitely make it better for your health. Now medkits. Well, what can I say? Anything you need for survival in a stylish orange case. Here's your advance salary for this month. Remember, your pay is in military-grade rounds. Sure, you can use them as usual ammo for some hefty extra damage, but saving them to buy guns, attachments, regular ammo and equipment from merchants anywhere in the metro seems like a smarter move.
So we get pretty much the same sort of equipping bit that we did in the first game, except we don't get a bastard here. And now, I guess I can point out all of the changes they've made to the gunplay in this. Basically, all the shooting stuff feels a lot better in this game. You know, it feels a lot more weighty, and reloading doesn't take forever. And you have this menu now to switch stuff. You can see we have all of our ammo counters at the top, including our military-grade rounds, which are also our money. I'm assuming the reason I have 160, I'm pretty sure it's because the pre-order also came with 100 military-grade rounds. Because I don't think you normally start with 160. You can see here on the bottom left, we've got our sort of thrown weapons, which we'll pick up throughout the game. We've got a lot of ammo, surprisingly. Our gas mask, 15 minutes of filter time, and 5 medkits. And you can just kind of pull this up at any time, unless you're playing a harder difficulty.
Good stuff, huh? Let's get you some guns. Take the ones you want and try them out on my range.
The other thing that's changed is the way guns work. In the first,
usually carry up to 3 weapons, Artyom. The choice of those is completely up to you.
In the first game, you had 3 gun slots, but they were sort of specific. The first slot was always just for the revolver. The second slot was sort of your assault rifle / shotgun, and then the last slot was your heavy weapons or your special weapons, stuff like the Volt Driver railgun and the, heavy automatic shotgun. In this game, you can just carry 3 of any weapon. You can even carry 3 of the same weapon with different attachments if you wanted. And the attachments themselves are actually a thing you can buy now. In the first game, you just found guns with attachments attached to them, and you'd find guns with different attachments, so you'd have to actually find them or buy them with the attachments if you wanted to change them. Here you can just buy and sell attachments as you like, as long as the store sells them. At the beginning here, because we're a ranger, we're kind of given free access to the armory here, so we can just kind of take any of these guns without any cost. The new ones are the Valve, which is sort of a long-distance sniper rifle. The RPK isn't really new, but it's one of the pre-order things. I believe it was also a pre-order thing in the first game. The Bastard is still the dirty old SMG. The Asbats is the heavy automatic shotgun, which was a Ranger DLC thing from the first game. The Shambler, which was just the automatic shotgun from the first game. 6-shot revolving shotgun. I'm pretty fond of that one. But, I guess for this, right now...
Sturdy, reliable,
we'll take the pistol, put a sight on it, and a extended barrel. So again, the only reason this stuff doesn't cost money is because, we're a ranger.
Make sure you take a close-range weapon with that one. Rifles are good for long-range targets, but you don't want to get caught with your pants down if something creeps up behind you.
And we'll take the Shambler with an extended barrel. That should be a good loadout.
Right, Artyom. Head over to my range and try out those guns. Come back if you want to try a different gun. Hey,
Artyom, put on the show for me, huh? Try out the rest of the weapons you chose.
So yeah, you can switch between weapons like this, you can scroll wheel, or you can pull this up and switch between them in slow motion.
The regular dummy's chest. Good job! Now shoot the armored dummy. Notice the difference? It's going to take more bullets to penetrate that armor. Look for sparks to move the armored target. Try a headshot.
So you can see there's actually hit markers in this.
That's a critical hit. Notice the difference? Those are the basics. You can keep practicing if you want, or head on up to Miller Creek. What are you aiming at?
And as you can see, there's a hit marker for just a regular hit, or a hit marker for when you're hitting armor and not doing very much damage, and then a critical hit marker. It might be a little hard to tell them apart, at least the critical from the armor one, but it's helpful. Usually you can tell when you're hitting someone's armor, though, because you can hear it. Anyhow, now that we're loaded up...
Did you hear the order? You're not to disclose the fact that D6 has been found to anyone in the metro.
The colonel says someone already spilled the beans. The stations are crawling with rumors. Each flight crazier than the last.
Sure. Food for 10 million, super weapons, secret machinery.
And others claim there's a radio down here powerful enough to contact the bunkers in Siberia, where the president and the government are holed up. Yeah, it's madness.
You'll be training till you fucking drop. Get out of here now. Shooting position. Close.
We're gonna get irradiated here for damn sure.
No way, the base is clear. At least the part we're in. They've checked it.
Yesterday, the commander and I checked the doors. Lots of them are still sealed. Some are welded shut. There's a few that look like they were locked from inside.
So what?
So there's radioactive shit behind some of those doors. Hot enough to bake an egg.
Can't remember the last time. I ate an egg. Look, there's a reactor here, right?
On the other side of the facility. I'm not sure it's safe here. Maybe this place wasn't designed as a shelter.
What else?
No idea, but I wouldn't fuck with any of the sealed doors.
Miller's calling the group leaders in. There's going to be a big assembly.
Please, Osip, let me smoke a piece.
I was on duty in the Situation Room yesterday, so I heard something. Seems like there's all kinds of things stirring up.
What do you mean?
The Reds are mobilizing. They've recruited old men, schoolboys, sent them off to training camps. I tell you, war is coming.
What are they going to fight?
The usual suspects, probably. The Nazis.
It reminds me. The sentry's topside spotted 3 recon groups of s.t.a.l.k.e.r. Strange. Nazis have never been outside in such numbers before.
3 groups, you said? Where?
2 of the squads came close to this place. Serbia saw them. The Nazis checked the waves, the cellars, as if they were searching for an entry point.
Shit. Think they know we found D6?
Hard to say. Maybe. It's not good.
If they do try to get in, they're finished. Miller has tripled the guards.
True. He knows about the Nazis. But if we eliminate the scouts, they'll just send more. If they do get in, you think the Order can hold off the Reich?
Slow down. The Order is neutral. We are the guardians of the entire metro. We protect our fellow humans from monsters and mutants. What state would dare go to war against us?
Let me finish the story. There was a 3rd group of Nazis, remember? They were seen at exhibition on the surface. We had sentries there, Scalpel and Rost. They were reporting in, said the Nazis were charging them, and the line went dead.
Wait, Rost is missing in action?
No, not missing. He was found dead, along with Scalpel. A dozen rounds in each one, finished with headshots.
Shit. It was just his birthday last week. We had a drink. What kind of sick fucker would do that to him?
So clearly some shit's stirring down in the metro.
So, you're an expert on hell and its denizens?
Pay no attention to this clown, Alex. Open the gates.
Have you heard about Lesnitsky?
What are you talking about?
Check with the guards at the lab.
Code 44.
What the hell did he do?
Opening up.
All right, let's go.
Of course, both of these guys are from the first game. Khan, who looks a bit more like a hippie now, and
The tombs of
Olin.
ancient kings were filled with whatever they might need in the afterlife. Weapons, gold, chariots. They'd sacrifice their wives and slaves to serve their lords even in death. Reminds me of this bunker.
Cut that shit out.
The things in D6 are like what the Conqueror took with him beyond the grave. Gold, steel, and wild steeds, and treasures untold. Of course, the Tomb Raiders would always die horribly, killed by demons or ghosts, or their own greed.
Khan, will you shut up or what? Hey, I heard that Lesnitsky did something. What happened?
Nobody knows. Lesnitsky was at the lab. When the next shift came, the door was open and the lab ransacked. Lesnitsky was gone.
Shit. So, what's inside?
Chemical weapons, maybe some other shit. That's all I heard.
God damn it. The Colonel's going to tear me a new one because of Lesnitsky. A red-hot poker right into my soul. If I still have it. All right, let's go. We might control D6, but it's like a damn city down here. All the bunkers, nooks and crannies and exits. Still, a base the Order dreamed of finding.
You still got the journal that you can pop up with the compass to tell you where your objective marker is.
Guys just came back from the ring. They say Hansa is strengthening the sentry points along the whole line, especially the ones close to the Nazis.
They just left the briefing. 2 Nazi assault teams have started the fight with the raids somewhere on the surface.
Over what?
Let me find out. What are they doing on the surface in the first place? They never went there in such numbers before.
HQ thinks they're looking to break into this place.
Well,
You couldn't hide the news forever, and now they're all salivating over D6.
Seems like we'll have to share.
With hungry wolves? They're going to share you, bro. And then each other.
They've never touched the Order before.
Because the Order was like a hedgehog. No meat to speak of and too much trouble getting to it. But now we have lots of meat and they all want to bite.
Did you hear about Scalpel and Roast? They say it's the Nazis.
Big mistake. Miller does not forget such things. We'll find those responsible in time. All of them.
And they will sleep with the fishes.
I've got a feeling like before the war. In the summer. When a thunderstorm was coming and the air was thick and humid. Suffocating.
I was 2 when the war started. You're talking about storms? I don't remember that shit.
I wonder if my son even knows the word storm. I'll ask him when I get home.
Don't talk about home either.
So now we kind of heard mention of the 3 other major factions of the Metro. Hansa, which is kind of the big merchant empire that runs most of the Metro. The Reich, where the Nazis are. The neo-Nazis, I guess. And then the Reds. The future communists.
Ordered all our men assembled here on this base.
Let's hear what he has to say at the assembly. I have a bad feeling.
Everyone seems to think there's some kind of impending war coming up.
Sherman, take these guys to Miller. They've been summoned.
These weapons.
Yes, sir.
Will become vanity.
All right, go on in. I'll wait here. When you've gone, I'll speak to Miller.
And this is where we find ourselves.
Ullman looks a lot different. He was kind of the joke-cracking,
Come on in. The
super
colonel does not like
non-serious guy.
drafts.
He just looks weird in this one. Something about his hair.
The bombing of the Dark Ones may have been humanity's worst mistake. What if they meant us no harm, but were trying to communicate? Perhaps the severe pain and loss of consciousness suffered in their presence just meant we were incompatible. Machines with different wiring. But somehow you, Artyom, have the common wire. The connection with the Dark Ones. Yes. People died at exhibition. Your home station. Hunter, the best of the Order, is most likely dead as well. And he taught you this. If we don't fight for our lives in this new world, we'll be devoured. It is the law of evolution. But I would argue, the old laws no longer apply.
Actually, I'm pretty sure the only thing Hunter taught us was, if it's hostile, you kill it. This room here is actually the same room you come into at near the end of Metro 2033. It's from here that I guess you launch the missiles.
You have reached your post at the church base in the north. Copy that.
Now it's their sort of headquarters.
All right, Artyom, and you, Khan, you have something to report?
Yes, Colonel.
Let's keep it short then.
I located the surviving Dark One at the gardens.
What? One of those things is still alive?
Luckily, yes.
Luckily? Come, this is utter madness. The Dark Ones were the greatest threat the Order's ever faced.
Colonel, just give me a chance. A single Dark One is no threat. Artyom has a gift. I believe he can establish contact with the creature. Let him come with me.
All right. Artyom, go with Khan to the gardens and locate the Dark One. I'll send a sniper along. My best. Anna.
Yes, sir.
Why would we need a sniper?
To eliminate the creature and finish the Order's job.
Miller, you can't! It's murder!
Restrain him!
You idiot! You're making the same mistake that...
We're done here. Escort Khan out of here.
Artyom! It's your last chance for forgiveness! For getting rid of the nightmares!
Forget about Khan. Looks like he got close. Too close to the creature and lost his mind. Look here, Artyom. Complete the mission and get back here quickly. A war is coming, and I'll need every ranger at his post. On your way.
So, what are you waiting for? Come along, Rabbit.
Artyom, if it's true that the Dark Ones can sense you, maybe you could draw it out from hiding so Anna can have a clear shot. But do me a favor. Don't let the Dark One get into your mind, or Anna will have 2 targets. Is that understood? We now suspect Lesnitsky was a sleeper agent, but we haven't verified who's running him. Your job is to intercept him before he delivers the stolen container. Understood?
Yes, sir.
If Lesnitsky escapes with the container, the entire metro's at risk. So if you can't take him alive, you damn well better bring me his head.
Yes, sir.
Dismissed.
So we've got our first mission of the game. Not quite as far-reaching as the beginning of Metro 2033, where we're given the mission to destroy the Dark Ones from existence. Should be a chair around here. Ah, there it is. So these here are Artyom's journals. You find these throughout the game. They're sort of a collectible, but they also give you kind of important story stuff that doesn't get mentioned otherwise. So to kind of get the full picture of what's going on, you kind of need to read these. They're sort of more of Artyom's thoughts, kind of like the little narrations you get at the beginning of each chapter. So I'll try to make sure to pick up all of these so that you guys get the same idea. Some of these are going to be longer, so I'd say just pause them if I'm going too fast. I forgot to mention it before, but this game, despite being written by Dmitry Glukovsky, is not actually based on the sequel to the novel, Metro 2034. This was actually a sequel they had him write entirely for the game, as a follow-up to the game. But they're sort of intertwined, because now he's apparently working on Metro 2035, which is the novelization of this game. So the events of Metro 2034 just don't really come up in this. But they're mostly about Hunter, who everyone still thinks is dead, so they don't really apply here anyway.
Don't tell me you believe that bullshit about making peace with the Dark Ones. I wish I had been up in that tower myself to see the missiles fall and watch them burn in their nests. Come on, Rabbit. Would you let those things into the metro? Let them crawl into our brains so they could use us like animals. Maybe we could mate with them so the children could live on the surface and feed off the radiation. Shit. You don't shake hands with the devil.
Please step away from the edge of the platform. Train coming in.
Alright, hop in like a good little rabbit.
So we still got the only working metros in the metro under the Metro 2 line, the secret government military line.
Well, we've worn this place out. Let's move.